My name is Lauren Cole and this is a video of initial consultation and health screening completed on the 11th of February 2018. Hello Sharon, how are you going today?
Good, thank you Lauren, how are you?
So I'm good, thank you. Nice to finally meet you. Now today we're going to fill in two different forms. This one here is the one we do first. It's just a pre-exercise screening tool, and this one's a bit of a personal profile about you. But they're obviously both to ensure your health, your safety, your well-being, and to help us get your goals sorted and develop your plans to help you achieve them a little bit. So we'll start with this one first, which just has name and birthday. Excellent.
What's the date?
It is the 11th. So obviously these ones are all really important about pre-existing health conditions and about your cardiovascular risks and stuff like that. Really important that all the information on here is as factual and accurate as we can get. So has your doctor ever told you that you have a heart condition?
Nope.
Nope. And you've never suffered from a stroke or
Nope.
No family history?
Nope. Excellent.
Do you experience unexplained pains in your chest at rest or during exercise?
Nope.
Excellent. Do you ever feel faint or have spells of dizziness during physical activity or exercise?
No.
No? Okay, excellent. Have you had an asthma attack requiring immediate medical attention over the last 12 months?
No.
No, not. Do you have any asthma at all? Or
only in the winter, if I get a cold, I get a little bit asthma because I'm an ex-smoker. I haven't had a cigarette for many years, but I do get a bit asthma in the winter.
Excellent, you stopped the cigarettes. So for your asthma, do you have a Ventolin or do you have a preventer?
I've got a preventer.
So only in the morning?
And I hardly ever use it.
Yeah, so if we were doing some physical activity, would you bring your other Ventolin along?
It's always in my bag anyway.
Okay, excellent. That would be very helpful. So what did we get up to? If you do you have diabetes, type 1 or type 2? No? Excellent. Do you have any diagnosed muscle, bone or joint problems that you've been told could be made worse by any physical activity?
No.
Excellent, that's great. Any other medical conditions that might make it dangerous for you to participate in any physical activity? Nothing we sort of need to know about there. So excellent, they're all no's, which as far as we're concerned on this form, we don't need to see any medical professional as of yet. Great. So this one gets a little bit more complicated, I guess, because it goes directly into just you and your details or whatever to try and make sure we've got contact information, goals, your lifestyle, your exercise plan, all that sort of stuff. And occupation. So what is it you do there, Sharon?
I'm a restaurant manager.
Restaurant manager, so you'd spend a lot of time on your feet then?
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely. It's not yet today's date. Alright, what do we got in there first? Yeah, let me just put that one in there. Now, I know these can be a bit of a pest to fill out at the start, but it is really important that we obviously get this information, not just for you, but to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by you and that you're getting the best results possible. As a matter of interest, some of these are industry-based screens anyway, so you may have been familiar with them if you've been at another gym or not, and obviously we'll keep this sort of information on file and we can check back in and change stuff that we need to. Alright, what have we got up to?
I just made a mistake.
That's alright, as long as we can read it. wrong box or wrong spot?
Wrong box.
Alright, and Jared. So is Jared your husband?
Yes, he is, yeah.
And how long have you two been married for?
20 years.
20 years! That's a long time.
Okay, so health
and fitness goals. So obviously you've probably got a few goals that you've got in mind, but if you could just pick number one, so it might be weight loss, it might be muscle, like adding more, building more muscle or strength, it might be some sort of fitness goal in particular, if it was a race or a competition or, there's toning up. And so really if you thought our journey together, what is it that I can help you with in particular?
Well, 18 months ago I started losing weight and I've lost 30 kilos.
Whoa.
In, it was was 12 months ago, but I've
Yeah.
managed to keep it off for 12 months. So I'd basically like to tone and
Yep.
get rid of some of the flabby bits.
Yeah, well, that is a huge weight loss. So
Yeah.
obviously that leaning up and toning a
Just,
little bit.
you know,
Yeah.
arms and bits.
Getting rid of that. So that's a massive deal. How did you manage that? Was that...
It was just changing my eating habits really. So cutting sugar out of my diet was
Yeah.
particularly the first thing. Finding the fact that I was actually drinking dairy, which wasn't agreeing with me. I always had a stomach
so a
ache.
little bit of intolerance there.
Yeah, so and I went on the Imprimi weight program through the National Pharmacy Chemist.
Now they're shakes, aren't they?
So shakes, but also a structured diet plan as well.
Yeah.
So they start you off with shakes and 1 meal, and then you sort of have. I'm at the stage now where I sort of just use the shakes to maintain.
Just supplement wherever you need to.
So I tend to, because I'm not much of a breakfast eater.
Okay.
Never have been. I tend to have a shake every morning just to ensure that I'm actually having something for breakfast.
Yeah, I think for some people it is that shake is getting in that routine of actually having your 3 meals a day, even if 2 of them are the shakes. So now you only have 1 shake a day and 2
Depends
meals?
on whether I find sometimes I have the second shake, but then majority of the time it's only 1 shake in the morning. Sometimes if like I'm on time off, I may have a shake at lunch and have some breakfast or something like that as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, majority of the time it's only the 1 shake, and just trying to balance what I eat at night time as well. Problem is I don't eat at the right time. Restaurant
of course,
industry.
being in the restaurant. Yeah.
So sometimes you don't get to eat till 10 or 11 o'clock at night time, which is always a bit of
and
an
you don't
issue.
want a big meal right before you go to bed.
No.
So it sounds like that's something that's pretty important. There is always options for us to try and get, as well as your healthy lifestyle, your fitness side of it, that we send you on to maybe like a dietitian or someone that can just double check that side of your that nutrition side, because they can always check levels of things and you know, if you're not getting enough of this or too much of this. So that might just be helpful too, because obviously exercise really, really important to that overall lifestyle goal, but needing to have
needs to fit into my work.
and you know,
as well.
you need the fuel in order to have they both go hand in hand. So obviously that toning up is what we are really going for. But if we can sort of make sure all that eating is accurate too. So what have you written for your timeline?
I wrote 12 months.
Okay, so you're willing to put like a bit of time in it. Excellent, because you know that stuff isn't something that we can just do quickly overnight.
No.
And improve your maintain your healthy lifestyle and stuff. So what do you think you will need to do in order to be successful with me in that toning stuff? Like, is it?
I think I need to start doing some weights and stuff. I'm quite physically fit.
I'll just write this down so while you talk.
I think I'm quite physically fit. The fact that I do try and walk a fair bit. I've always
excellent.
been a walker.
Yeah, so in a minute, I'm going to need you to remind me of that when we get back down to there. So you do a lot of that cardio stuff, the walking around. Yep.
I'd like to be able to run more, but being 55, the knees aren't as good as they are, and I have played a lot of hardcourt netball over the years as well. So I guess my knees are my worst.
So even when we're saying like weights, not only weights training for the toning, but strengthening as well, like then we could maybe get a bit of muscle back up in those legs and, you know, help your knees a little bit more. It still won't probably have you running around playing hardcore netball, but it might just give you a bit more confidence, if anything, to push you running a little bit further. And we can always toy around with that plan too, but weights, strength training, and, you know, you're keen for some personal training sessions. And is there like keeping up your daily walks?
Definitely. Walk daily walks.
So just maintain that daily
So
walk.
Basically, I always try and make sure I do my 10,000 steps every day.
Excellent. Yep.
Some days, like when it's really busy at work, without even walking, I can do sort of 16,000 steps. Is
being
like
in a restaurant.
Pretty one of those days. Well, I think in the morning when I do the setup and the clean, it's 2.4 k's just around.
And I say maybe if we can start to push some of those to 20,000 steps a day, if you're already getting that amount, but some weight stuff and some strength stuff would be really good. And especially if we tie this into the work that you do with me, because it can be a little bit daunting when you start to attempt some of that stuff, like the walking and all
I guess
that.
that's where I've always been at. Like I probably would have been at gyms and stuff before, but I feel I feel like everybody's looking at me saying, oh my God, look at her, she's useless.
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard thing to get over, but I think once you're there and you've done a few sessions, you realise like everyone's just in there sort of doing their own thing. And at least with a PT as well, you've got someone as a bit of a guide to help you with your technique and your form, because great forms of training, but obviously ones where you can get injured quite easily as well if you don't quite do the right thing. So again, build up a bit of confidence with those, and you'll be able to do a bit more of that on your own, and we can do some other stuff together. So currently exercising, this is about the now, that was about our little future. So we said yes.
And I walk daily.
Yep, so yes, how often? So what we'd just say 7, you go 7 days per week.
Yep.
And how long is your walk?
I always like to do between 2 and 5K. So it depends on the weather, and it depends on how much time I have as well. So I would say, on average, average at 3Ks a day.
Yeah. So in minutes, what, that like half an hour or?
That'll be an hour.
An hour. Yep. Excellent. What intensity? So is it easy?
That's easy.
Yeah, I was going to say you're not
easy.
puffing or you're not massive sweat. Obviously, the weather again adds to that sort of stuff. Do you have, or have you had any serious medical concerns in the past? Have you had any?
Right shoulder reconstructed in 2000 and, hang on, let me write this down. No, it was 1998.
1998.
And that was just from an old netball injury.
And there's my netball again.
Put up with it for a few years, and then had to have it done because I could just dislocate it simply by turning around. And
so it was obviously quite bad at the time.
So it was a full AC reconstruction. So.
And since then?
Yeah, no problems. I did it all properly. I did all the physical therapy properly and stuff. I mean, I've never gone back to netball, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't have any trouble with it as such. I'm always sort of a little bit
wary of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good thing for us to keep in mind, especially as we get into doing weights and strength. You know, some of it, and you did, say, oh, these bits, like, if we're doing.
And I'm always conscious with that movement there, because that's that movement there that's the pops it out. Yeah. So I've always been conscious of anything at that level, even lifting.
So above, I was going to say anything above your head's probably a bit too much, but anything you're all right, like picking up shopping bags and stuff like that.
It's just when I get to that level and higher, then I start to get a bit, I don't think I like that. It's just confidence.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's something that with this we can take a bit easier and build up to it. And if you're ever feeling at all like, oh no, that's a bit funny on there, we can stop. And if again there's anything that ever happens, we can go back to physios and stuff like that.
That's right.
They always can recommend things for us to do together. Yep. So this is just about that page, which we'd said was clear. You didn't have any of these. No risk. Any of these big. Let's just get that checked out before we go anywhere. So, if you please describe. No, well, you're exercising currently. You could say, I guess, exercise history would be, like you've said, your netball stuff. Are you or have you recently been pregnant?
I would hope not.
Look, it's on the form. We better just ask, but I can.
I would hope not. I would be putting myself in a mental asylum if I found out I was pregnant right now.
You can never know these things. You always
I want grandchildren soon, not children.
Well, there again. See, this all help. Any regular medication that you take, including supplements? So do you?
I do take a blood pressure tablet. I have had trouble in the past with just blood pressure being high, and I think it's actually it's job related, it's stress related.
Yep.
So I do take blood pressure tablets. No, they're only 20 mils, so I've dropped right back to the minimum of those.
Do you know what they were? Which one?
Olmstarec. OLMSTAREC. So it's the smallest dose that it is now. So it's really just maintaining.
Okay. And so when you were having those problems, it was stress.
It's stress related. Yeah. So it didn't have anything to do with my fitness or working or anything like that. It was just different times with my job. It was quite stressful. So.
And again, you might find when we get into this a little bit more that exercise is another great way.
And since I've lost weight as well, that's come down as well. Yep. So that was at my heaviest, I was sort of 105 kilos.
Yep, okay.
And my blood pressure was really, really high. And obviously everything's high. Cholesterol was high too. So
it puts pressure on everything when it's...
Yeah. So that makes a massive difference now to those. It's just really maintaining.
And again, like I said, this will all help. And I'm sure you found that on the days that you go for that walk in the morning, you're probably a lot clearer mentally, and just exercise as a stress reliever can really help as well. And even if we are getting a little bit more weight down or a little bit more muscle to help burn some fat, that might also bring it down and down and down. So you see a doctor regularly about
Yeah,
that?
I do. See, only 6 monthly now. I
Yep.
did. I wanted to come off of the tablets or sort of 8 months ago.
Yep.
And I went to see her, and she made me take my blood pressure every day, 3 times a day.
Okay, so is that
And we
still
went-
happening?
No.
No, you don't monitor that closely.
No, because she wants me to stay on them now. But for a whole month, I had to take my blood pressure 3 times a day, and then she let me go off the tablets to start with, and then it came up, but not really high. But she just sort of said that I just want you to stay on them just to keep
that low dosage
monitored. Yeah.
Okay.
So I do see her 6 monthly.
Yeah.
That's certainly not a problem.
And she's a doctor that you've had for a long time as
she's
well.
my doctor.
So
yeah.
again, if we were finding, and I'll take your blood pressure in a minute, even though you've probably done one today, even if we're finding that that you are feeling lightheaded or
I don't take it anymore because I know that I can maintain it now. So.
And did you feel when it was high? Did you get some physical symptoms?
Sometimes it was a headaches more than anything.
Yeah.
So it was a headaches. But I didn't really, like she used to say to me, you must be feeling, but I didn't really feel it.
And you've always sort of had that kind of stressful hospitality career. I'm guessing that you would have probably always dealt with that. Yeah, your body's found its natural way to cope with that. And but a headache. So again, we'll keep an eye out for that. And if you are ever feeling lightheaded or headachy or anything like that during exercise, just stop and let us know, because we don't want the other side of that and then it having implications later on. So I am actually going to do a few little quick health check tests for you. So resting heart rate, I'll just take that on your wrist there, and I'll only do it for about 15 seconds instead of the minute, but I can still work out how healthy, how well your heart's beating, and how well that's all going, how quickly that blood's being pumped through. One that you're obviously quite familiar with, your resting blood pressure, just to see if that's high or low, which it might be possibly a little bit towards that top end, a little bit higher than we should see, which we'll keep in mind. A quick measurement around your waist and one around your hips, around that widest part of your bottom. And then we do a little, just divide the two together to tell us sort of where the proportion of fat on your body is, if you're carrying it in a certain spot as opposed to another. And a check for your BMI. And we are pretty wary with this one, and I saw you come in, you're like me, you're not overly tall, so it can be a bit of a one that throws everybody, you know, bodybuilders can be overweight in that one. All of this is really just to check where we are currently and make sure that, you know, wherever we go from here, we can build on that, and that there's nothing here that's a risk. So even if there is something on there that we don't necessarily love or we'd like to change, that's what we can do from here on. Like, we can get your BMI in a bit of a healthier range if it's high. Or...
I mean, I got down under 70 kilos when I was dieting, and it's just, I felt that I didn't feel, it was just, for one, it was very hard to maintain under 70 kilos. Like, I sit on between 70 and 72 kilos. I got down to about 68 kilos, and that was just too hard to maintain. And it was probably a healthier weight range, but to me,
and your energy and your lifestyle, like all of that,
it was ridiculous. It was a really hard, that extra sort of 5 kilos,
which is something we might be able to shift in an exercise way, as opposed to just a dieting nutrition way. Like, nutrition needs to come along with it, but in an exercise way, we might be able to tone some stuff up. Now, keeping in mind that, you know, muscle weighs more than fat too, so if you are gaining some muscle doing this weight, that your weight might hang around the same number, but actually, you know, the more muscle we have, the more fat we burn, and it burns throughout the day and all sorts of stuff. So being that heavier but out of muscle is going to be okay. And we can later on investigate ways that we might measure that, just, you know, in girth measurements with a tape measure, just to see that's a good overall one. But if we want to get really into it, we can get a bit of a body composition scan, and that'll tell us, you know, how much of you is water, how much of you is bone, how much of you is everything, and that's a way we can really track that muscle growth as opposed to just weight loss. And what we really want is for you to put on a bit of muscle and tone,
keep the tone,
and, you know, that might, you know, be in a number, but, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, it's about feeling good as well as just looking at a number on a scale. Like, you know, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm under 70 but I feel terrible. There's no point in doing that. So if I could just have flat on the table here your wrist, let me have this one, and I will get a little timer on my little phone, and I'll put some fingers there. think that's pretty much bang on, really. That was a 15. So that was exactly 61. There it is. So anything between 60 and 100's in our normal range, which is good. This one takes a little bit of getting me ready more so than you. I will get you to help me hold my over the top. Let's put these here before they knock you on the head. I might just have to pump this maybe a little bit tighter just if you've got it high. And if you can do me a favour and hold that facing me, I can just double check where I've got you and when I hear noises and stuff like that, which is very important. Let me just twist it around on me. I'll just shove that one in there for a second. And I will be very quiet because otherwise I won't hear it. So don't think I'm ignoring you, I am just concentrating. Actually about 110 over 90, so your 20 mils of blood pressure medicine is doing quite well. Blood pressure 110 over 90, excellent. So we're doing well so far, Sharon. We've got all our resting heart rate and our blood pressure done, and they're both where we want them to be. What I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to stand up. So I do the waist girth measurement first, which is just around your belly button line in the middle there. You've done the right thing, you've worn some loose fitting clothes for me. I will just have to reach around you if that's okay. And get it to the nearest. There we go. Easy, it's 92. So what we can say here is waist is 92.0 centimetres. Yep. Now we do say 80 centimetres or more is a bit of a increase, and 88 is a little bit of a worry too. So obviously, like we said, that's something we're still going to get down a little bit too. But I'm sure that's a massive reduction on possibly what it was before the weight loss. Now hip might be a little bit the same. I'm going to have to go for that widest part of your butt, and I will be down on my knees, so just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Alright, this last one's not too bad, but I'll just get my little calculator out so I can do it properly because it's to the nearest. And again, that's a little bit, 0.8 is a bit higher, like the at-risk category of what we'd want for a female of that waist to hip, but like we said, that's, you've already had a massive weight loss journey so far, and like you want yourself to tone and get rid of a little bit more of that stuff that's just laying around. We'll keep a close eye on all of that because obviously there is implications of if we don't do things about that when we're at this range, but that's why you're here and that's why you're willing to work on some stuff, I'd imagine. Now I will have to ask you, and I'll get this here, do you know how tall you are?
I'm 166 centimetres.
Okay, so 1.66. And how... sorry, just a second. How much you weigh?
Yeah, I'm 72 kilos.
72. Right, so all I'm doing now is the one I talked about before, that body mass index, that BMI. So it's relative weight to height.
Yeah.
So it will put us in a category of, normal weight range to, obese, or you can be underweight as well, or healthy weight range. We do use it with a bit of caution because, like I said, muscle weighs more than fat mass. So we can't just go, oh, BMI says I'm obese or whatever. Like, it is just another thing for us to check in.
It's a gauge.
Yeah, it has its information, but go from there when we need to. And so we've come in that bit higher than we need to be in category, which we can deal with at the time. But again, it's nothing to stress about. It's just information for us to have and something we can build on, because it can get, you don't want to be put off by that number at all, because it is just a relative weight to height. So apart from that, is there anything else, any other questions you have for me about the test we've done, or about...
No, I don't think so.
In general? No, you sure you don't want to just get out of going back to the lunch shift, not a little bit of extra time? What you might do before you go anywhere is, I always forget this has a double side.
Yeah.
This is just a quick little one for us to set up, like, a bit more about your lifestyle.
Yeah.
A bit more about the exercise plan together, just so I can have, apart from your goal, a little bit more information about things you might be interested in, and after that we can book your next appointment and hopefully get some good stuff. So how active is your job?
I would say moderately active.
Yeah, you're on your feet a lot, you're cleaning, and your day's probably moderately active too. Yeah, not a lot of downtime.
No.
An important one, how much sleep do you get a night?
I would say just the 7 hours.
Yeah, so
not much of a sleeper.
Yeah, that's the big one. It's better for you. In the past month, how often have you been physically restricted by your health?
No,
Never. In the past month, how often have you been emotionally affected by your health? No, you're not feeling that? Excellent. Now, here's where I'd said if we're going to maybe tick in yes there.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll look at further as well, so we've got both of those going in your favour for the nutritional consultation.
Yep.
But the statement that most accurately describes your diet: I feel that my diet is healthy and does not require changing. I feel that there are a few changes.
Go in there.
Yep. Yeah, because that's what we said. We might be able to just make sure everything's what it needs to be. Here's our little commitment so we can work out things that are happening. How much time can you commit to your exercise plans? How many times a week?
I'd say probably twice a week, maybe an hour a week.
Yeah,
excellent. Hour a session.
It's going to be
2.
Yeah, so we'll have, and that's good. We'll be able to get a fair bit in, especially if we're doing some weight stuff, because that's not necessarily a quick little circuit or stuff like that.
And I could do either morning or afternoon.
Yep. So that's obviously like before you go in.
So let's go Monday and Thursday.
Nice. You got your little breaks there, a little time to recover, and probably a heavier workout there. Yep. So we've got an extra bit of time, because obviously you might be a little bit sore. Fitness activities interest you? Walking?
So walking, I'd like to be able to run more, like I said
so
before.
we might be able to do some stuff.
I'd like to do some cross training as well. I've always been interested in that sort of stuff.
A swimmer?
Yeah.
No, you don't seem that keen.
Yeah.
We can tick it with a bit of a question mark. We said weights machine and free weights.
Yeah.
Do you do any stretching, any yoga?
No, but I'd like to do some yoga for sure.
Yep. Now, we'd said sport was in the past.
No,
nothing we're ticking there. Excellent job. You're never too old, we could find something, but with all this going. Group exercise classes.
Yeah, I've always been interested in I did aerobics years ago. Years and years ago.
They are always fun.
Yeah.
It's good stuff like that. So some kind of, the dancing ones.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm a fan myself. It's just, you don't realise you're working out. What intensity would you like to work out?
Moderate.
Yep. And again, like you said, you've been doing that low stuff yourself, so we're going to push you a little bit. Is there any fitness activities that do not interest you?
Not really.
No, not really. Not really. No. All right, so I'll just read through this with you, or you can read through it yourself.
Yep.
Really important that you've read through and understood. It's a little bit of a disclaimer about the stuff we've done, the risks you might take, and exercises that we do. So I'll give you a minute to read that one, and then you can start.
Yep, looks good.
It's all good, excellent. I don't think there should be anything on there that stands out. Now, Sharon, what we will do is we will book you in for an appointment. I said Mondays or
Monday's
Thursdays.
good.
So, does Thursday the 22nd work for you?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sorry,
Put it in yours and say I can write it down for you. And would you like that one? I've got morning and...
Let's go morning, that one.
All right, what time in the morning works for you, Sharon? I'm pretty clear.
Let's do 9.
9?
I've got a podiatrist appointment in the afternoon.
Oh, excellent. Oh, well, we might need to check in with them. All right, so obviously for that, like you are today, that first workout together, some appropriate footwear, so your sneakers, some tights, maybe some loose-fitting clothes, and we might just run through a few different things to give you a bit of an idea of overall, and incorporate maybe a little bit of a stretch into that one, and give you some ideas of things you could do at home to help ease into that. But thank you so much for coming in, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you very much.